All right, we are good to go.
Morning, everyone. It is 1st of August, um, day after CPI. We had some data this morning. Not a whole lot to say this morning, to be completely honest with you. Um, let's review CPI a little bit. All right. So, yesterday, um, as we talked about on the call, of late, CPIs have been being front run. We talked about that as a distinct possibility that we could get um, a trend day, and we did. We That's just what happened. Even from the overnight after AMD and Microsoft reports, we just trended all the way up until futures closed at 6 o'clock. This little blurb here was CPI. That's it. Pretty nothing comparatively to where we had been, right? So we literally came off in the red, and when I zoom out, you'll see that that was my trend line that we had talked about as reclaiming. And now it looks like we're doing a little bull flag type thing here. Um, Not really all that clean, but this is why we use 15, even 5 minute, and you zoom out, because you can really get a much better picture of the last couple of days, where we've been, where we're going, um, when you zoom out. So let's go back to that 15 minute. So today we have this level, excuse me, we have this level at 96 and a half, 97. I mean, I guess you could really say it's like 94 to 97, because you had this candle here, and you had just that data print candle there. So let's call it 94 to 97 as your overhead. And then below, you've got 55.74. I would say this 66 is sort of invalid at this point. I'm going to get rid of it. And then we got 59. What do we do this morning? Do you guys know? I don't know. So when I don't know, usually the best plan of attack is wait and see what the market is going to do. There was CPI. Everyone's analyzing what Jerome Powell, I mean, CNBC this morning is everyone talking about what Jerome Powell said yesterday. Everyone needs to interpret that data. We don't need to. We need to wait, and we need to be patient to see what the market wants to do. Oftentimes, after these CPI prints, you get a very trappy first hour of the next day, where you start in one direction and then you reverse very hard in the other direction. It's been something I've noticed a couple of times, and I've been trying to pay attention when we do have these CPI prints to what are the most common things that the market does and how does the market react. The variable here that we haven't had in the last couple of CPI prints is a VIX that's over 16. So you have a little bit of a higher volatility environment with a print that just came in. So we really need to be patient this morning and let the market tell us what direction it's going to go, if it's going to start trending, if it's going to start just being range bound and essentially saying, yeah, I don't know, Jerome, I don't know if we believe you, and I don't know if we know how to interpret it. So really that's all for this morning. I feel bad saying, hey, I don't really have a trade for you, but I don't really have some magic sauce where I can say, yeah, this is what I'm looking to do this morning, because I'm not sure yet. It's going to be a roll with the punches type day, and we need a lot more information before we can make an educated decision. So now let's go out and let's go to the 30 minute into the hour. So this is probably the hour's probably a little better. Now where are we? You know, we're right back into this area from last Monday, last Tuesday. Um, this is a pretty big resistance area here. Remember, we talked about needing to build out these areas from July 4th week. We're in them. We're building them out. We're building out that volume profile within these areas that we talked about, literally right in here, right in on the first week after July 4th, that we needed to build out these two areas from July 4th week. Where are we? What did we do last week? We're building out the volume in this area here. And now that we're sort of on the underside of this essentially little crown here, do we reject it and come back and retest this trend line? Or do we just start trending upwards? Or do we go sideways and just continue to build it out? So there's those three scenarios. On the hourly, you've got the MACD sort of looking like it wants to come and fall apart here. So when you have these mixed signals and you're not sure, trade level to level, try and figure out by 9:45, 10 o'clock what direction we're going to be going in. But remember, just sort of don't marry trades today. Quick hitters probably are the way. My guess is that by 10:30, 11, we might have an idea of what way we're going to trend, because I have a gut feel that after this CPI and this morning's data, that we're probably going to get a reasonable trend day today. That's my gut feel. We will see, and stay tuned. But let's go to one that I love to hate, IWM. IWM, after Jerome Powell absolutely went bonkers, and it broke out over this 2650 area. That was the previous high. It proceeded to go another $2+ and then screw everybody and dropped $5. This is why this index is brutal to play. It can be fun if you're a trader, but that is a nasty, nasty candle there. So now what are we seeing? If we zoom out a little further, we were looking for this M yesterday in the after hour, or during the print, and we were on the call on the live voice. We said I thought this was invalidated. Now that it's back in it, I don't know. I think it's a very trappy spot. And if you see IWM fall apart here after that big move and people chasing it up over 26, I think that could be a great trade under 220. If we see it start to just go sideways and build, I don't know. It's one that's been okay to us here. We've been able to get in and out, and we've had some big wins there, but not the big win that I've been looking for on this index. I thought we would get a really, really good trending play on it, on an unwind on the long side, but just hasn't happened yet. So take a step back. Let's see what happens here. And yeah, I'm when you have a big candle like that, and then you bear engulf it all the way down in a 1 hour candle, literally lose the whole, retrace the entire thing, go back to right where you are. And now, I mean, it's the only index. And if we look on my sheet here, on my watch list, green, 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 red. So relatively weak versus ES, versus NQ, YM. So the other three indexes are green. We got RTY red, which is what it showed yesterday. It was relatively weak all day, and then it became relatively strong while Powell was talking, and then became relatively weak again. So again, I'm still not convinced on the long side on this. I won't be playing it on the long side. I am waiting for a downside move on this. Being tactical, and when I enter and taking profits very quickly to try and reduce the cost to reduce my position sizing. But I think when it does finally decide to make a trend move here, I think it's going to be a large one. So we'll stay watching that one. Nike, and this is the last one I'll go to for today. This is starting to look really constructive. Let's go to daily. So I had this level here at 20 or 75, 30 something. And we broke it yesterday and we came back under it. Can we sort of build up in this 75, 76 range for a shot at getting into this gap? We have 75 calls and 77. What do I have? Let me check the other screen. 77 calls. So for August OPEX. So we have 3 weeks here for this thing to build and to ideally get into this gap. I may, if we get sort of up in this 76, 77, I may sell some August OPEX like 82, 85 calls and make it essentially a spread just so that I can take profits that way and reduce my sizing that way. That's sort of what I'm hoping happens is we can get a push into this sort of 76, 77 range, and then I can sell upside calls and make it a spready calendar. And with how this thing moves, you guys have been watching the last couple of weeks, having 77 calls and 82 or 85 calls, it's a pretty good spread. And if we get a nice breakout here, those calls should get pretty juiced. So it would be a way that we can manage our risk and manage the position without really reducing the overall call sizing. So with that, I will turn it over.
Good morning. All right. So on the indexes this morning, I shared this the last couple days, and we finally got this move up yesterday, spurred by initially it was the AMD earnings that kind of pushed the chips sector up, which helped sort of launch this, and then the continuation from Powell yesterday and took us into this this area here. Let me see. Oops. So we got this, sort of harmonic looking structure from here. I say sort of looking harmonic structure because this measurement down here basically came and double bottomed, and we typically need to see this, up around an 88, no lower than that. And if it does go lower, then we need at least a 113 to qualify for a harmonic, and we didn't quite get that. So it's more of in the spirit of rather than an actual harmonic. And the question is this tapped out now? Because I was calling for this 5607, which is the 88.6, which would have been the completion. We didn't quite get there. And if you were long yesterday, I told you, take profits here at this 78.6, which was 55.87. And that's kind of close to where we topped out, and we're grinding around that level right now. So at this point, we would take the drawings away. Let's get rid of these, and let's take a low point to high point. And now we have our levels for retracement because we know this is a bearish, this structure here is bearish. So we're looking for a retracement. Where can we get a retracement? Well, we already got the 23.6 off of it. The next down would be this 38 retracement, which is, let me take this volume profile off so we can read, 55.34.50. So that would be the next level down, and then we would just follow this down, but also be aware that any of these levels can act as a base support for it to just, come down and then just launch back and go higher. It just, obviously the market determines the strength and the weakness of the day. So following, some of the leaders, seeing how the chips are doing, financials, etc., and just be aware that we don't need to get a full retracement back to this C point. It can sort of develop some base at any of these levels. We can watch for another harmonic setting up. We could come down here, come back up here, and then go down and create an M, which would be bullish, and then look for the retracement back up off of that. So as Nara said, we're just kind of in this limbo here, just playing level to level. Once you zoom in, you can look at these areas as potential places to take a trade off of. But it's kind of at a difficult spot until we kind of see something else setting up or something on a smaller time frame. So if we zoom in, again, we're kind of a ways from any key levels. So I would potentially, let me get rid of this. This is a fib from yesterday. I would lean on my pivots today more than anything. And the big ones are going to be down here is your weekly mid pivot here at 55.20. If we did come all the way down 50 points. And then I can go over to this chart here, and I can see I have a 50 Fibonacci here at 55.15. So if we got a retracement down into this level, this 55.15, 55.20, that would be a really good sort of knife catch area. Not that I'm expecting that big of a retracement. However, day after Fed, we have seen pretty decent retracements. So just be aware of that. If we start breaking out above highs, we do have a weekly resistance and a daily resistance pivot up here at 56.07.50 and 56.13.75. So this would be a decent spot if we do get a breakout. This could be sort of the trappy area where we get a decent short from there. If we start getting above these and building out a base for higher, then you can use these levels as sort of a over-under. So that's kind of it on the indexes, and we'll have more commentary as the day progresses and we see what's setting up. But we've had a really good couple weeks in futures, so that's probably why Nara's saying what he's saying, and I'm kind of saying the same thing. Like, don't be in a rush to take anything when we don't have those A1 setups. On the individual stock side, we had Carvana earnings that's breaking out over these levels here. If you look on the daily chart, we kind of have that. Not my favorite company in the world, but it's definitely been an uptrend, so you can clearly see this trend line that we've been kind of holding here. And the same on, actually you can probably just pull up this parallel channel here. Let me turn off my, we're kind of basically been in this channel since the beginning of the year, more or less. So until we see that breakdown, I'd love to short this company, but they're pretty good at cooking the books. So Meta also, I said yesterday, when we were down in this range, I said, if I was going to gamble on earnings, I would go long, and we did have this structure for a long, and now we're coming up to fruition on this. So if you are long, definitely take profits. Don't short it automatically, but there's probably a decent short setting up in that at some point here in the next day or so. Tesla getting a little bit of a gap down here. I don't know if there was the news. Yeah, the Chinese deliveries, I guess, were a little weak. I did add, I've been in this since the 1.7 is, and I added it to 19 off of this print here. I've already taken some profits in it, but we're still looking for this move on the weekly chart. Get rid of this. So, if we can hold this area, we can build a base to continue up here back towards the 350 area. We have some earnings. Let's see, what do we have today? We have Apple, Amazon,
Yep.
Mara, Coin, Roku, Dash. I mean, a bunch of earnings tonight. So let's see how things set up, and it's going to be sort of one of those wait and see days. Let's see how things set up, and I think the last couple of CPI day after, or maybe not the last one, but the one before, we had a huge retracement the day after. So that would be.
Yep. We've gotten some really big ones. That's for damn sure, and that's why it's like, okay, well, we're in a really weird spot here that we paused at. The VIX did not sell.
Right.
Does the VIX sell this morning into Apple and Amazon? I don't know. I don't know if it does.
Doesn't seem likely.
So it's like, how much further can we go up without the VIX selling? I don't think it's a lot. We need to see that VIX come up. And
I think it's how much further can we go up with two mega caps on deck,
Well, I mean, that theory of we can't really go up because no one knows what the Fed's going to do has been voided, because every Fed day has been a trend day into it for the most part for the last, I don't know, I want to say 4 or 5 of them, so it's going against that conventional notion that, markets aren't going to try and front run things. They've been front running everything, sometimes in right and sometimes wrong. And when they're wrong, man, those retracements have been a blast.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely give us some decent opportunities if we got more or less a full retracement of yesterday's move. And then if we start to look like we're breaking down, then I'll definitely look for an entry.
You have NQ at a major support. You have ES sort of a little bit above a major support. Pull up NQ, on the 30, the 30 minute. Yeah.
Hold on, let me.
So we're NQ's there at the major support. You put them alongside each other. That was good. Yeah. So you can see how NQ is almost at that major support and ES is not quite there yet. So what do we do here? Tough spot. Does ES pull us down lower and break NQ support, and then NQ pull ES? That these are the things that are in play here. Is it a long area because we got NQ at the support and ES sort of at a middling support? I don't know. Not so sure I want along that, but these are why we're saying what we're saying, where we need more information. And that NQ next to ES chart is the perfect example. You have NQ at support. ES is not yet.
Right.
So who's going to play follow the leader? And we got to figure that out.
That we do. I also noticed, let me go back to NDX. If we do get above this area here, let me go to a little larger time frame, a little easier to see. Let me make this. So you can see above this 476, we have a gap. Big gap up to 750 area in NDX. Which on SPX would correlate to on ES would correlate to, let me see here, it's probably going to be up around this 620, 630 area. So be aware of that. Keep an eye on NDX today. If we do get more upside, if we can get into this gap, that would be an opportunity. We've got 3 minutes till open. Oh, I did notice this. I marked this. There was a pretty decent sized print in NVIDIA last night at this level here. This is around 117. Came in right at the close. So actually, we're coming down to test it now. Kind of a weird spot. Tough to know if it was a buy or a sell. But we kind of ramped so much. It would be odd for that to be a buy. It was about $800 million print. Gut tells me it was a sell. Let's see how we react off it right here. That's definitely going to be a sector to watch today. Kind of started this little rally we've had the last couple days, so if you see some weakness in chips, that could give you a bit of a clue. Got a minute till the open here.
Well, I got to jump off this morning, and have a great day, everybody. But we will see you in the room.
Yep, I'll stay on for a couple minutes and see that pretty big bounce right off of that print level there. See if it holds. I think we have data at 9:45. Let me see. Yeah, PMI, and then 10 a.m. is construction. It's a pretty muted open. Yeah, I mentioned yesterday that big print, not huge print, but a decent sized print in Amazon a couple days ago, and that's just taken off. I didn't take anything. I probably should have grabbed some equity, but I actually have it in my long term. But the calls going into earnings tonight just were a little too spicy. Yeah, coming into resistance here on NDX, NES. See that?
Order filled.
I just shorted this area here. 86.50. If we get over 89, I'll stop at. Just small size for now.
Target filled.
I got a scale here.
Target filled.
I got a little scale here, 83.50. There we go.
Target filled.
Got another one there, 82. See if we can get back down into this 76 area. Maybe even down to 73.50.
Stop filled.
And stopped at a break even here on the rest. Nice little trade there at the open. Didn't go huge, but I got 4 or 5 points. Moved my stop to break even. No blood on the rest. So, and that was, if you saw that correlation there, we came up here to NDX, saw a little weakness off of it, and that's why I jumped in at 86.50. Got my quick scale, scaled some more, 3, 4, 5 points, and then my last quarter-ish size, I put it break even. And now we're popping up above it, so little quick credit there at the open. Anyway, I'm gonna jump off. We'll be in the chat, and yep.